Don't we look great?
You look beautiful.
You look beautiful. You look like a firefly in a nightclub. What does that even mean?
It was your remark.
Well, it was a compliment of some kind, Rhonda Louise. Trust me. But here we are. And I am stumped, sister. Truly, I am. I'm stumped because you are stunning. And I'm stunning. And this room is just perfectly ideal to show off just how stunning we are.
Like the oysters.
Exactly. Except, where are the men?
You told me not to invite any men.
I know I did that, but where are the men?
That was the whole point.
I know, but where are they?
The three of us would just deck out and look great for each other and fuck the men.
I know. But don't you feel like we're just wasting our gorgeousness on each other?
No.
Even just a little bit?
No.
I get why you're saying that, but come on.
Wait. I know what you're hinting at, and that's not what's going on. Anyway, you're married.
So what?
So, you're here alone tonight because your husband's building buildings out somewhere.
So what? You're here alone. I mean, without a man. Because you threw Jerry out.
Stop. Right there. Now, that's a black lie. I'm here alone tonight because you knew your husband wasn't going to be around. And you don't cheat. So you suggested this girl's night out, which is fine with me, but you don't then turn around and tell me that I am alone tonight because I threw this one guy out of my life. That's just a detail.
Sorry.
If I wanted a guy here tonight, there'd be a guy here tonight. I only dressed up because you wanted me to dress up. I'll tell you why you're crying out, where's the men? It's because we're dressed for men. These clothes evolved out of a situation where observations were made about which kinds of clothes attract the male of the species. It's really like female's first premier designer was Mr. Charles Darwin. The point is, these kinds of clothes are bait. We're wearing bait. These clothes are just like worms, only there's no fish to bite.
Worms?
Bait.
It's weird to think of my clothes as worms.
And you yourself as a hook.
Especially since I already caught my fish. Bob. Bob the big-mouthed bass.
Well, that's because you got to keep in shape.
What do you mean?
Well, you got to know, if it came to that extreme, that you can catch another gentleman. My father, he used to practice fly fishing in the living room. He'd cast his net, his fly, out in the sewing hoop, much to the consternation of my mother. He was practicing outwitting the trout. It's the comparable same thing as happily married women who flirt. They're casting flies in the living room.
Is that what you think of me, Rhonda Louise?
Well, Billy, you're one of the worst flirts I know.
Do you really think that I flirt to stay in shape in case Bob leaves me?
Yes, fair, definitely. But I think you do it too because you'd like to screw the socks out a lot of them.
Is that really what you think?
Yes, definitely. Horniness, for sure. And I think you do it too as sort of a check you run on yourself to make sure that you still exist. That's the most existential reason. I flirt, therefore I am. And I think you do it too as sort of a way to...
I'm going to tell you why I flirt.
Why?
Habit.
Oh?
I mean, I'm sure there were a dozen reasons at one time or another, but they're all dead now. It's still standing, but dead. like a stuffed bird in the Museum of Natural History. Like me.
What's the matter, Billy?
I feel dead. I feel dead.
You're not dead, honey.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. You just feel dead.
Do you know, the other night, Bob asked me to marry him?
But you're already married.
He forgot.
He what?
It was sweet, really. We were having this really nice dinner. We were drinking champagne. He bought me these pink roses. And the moment was just... He got carried away and he asked me to marry him.
But that's just so dear.
It was precious. It really, really was. But it was also just exactly what it is about my marriage that I can't stand. I could kill.
I don't get it.
It's the courtship. He can't give it up. We can't give it up. I mean, it has been 3 years, Rhonda Louise, and we are still on the balcony, if you know what I mean. I thought that marriage was supposed to lead somewhere, not be just this frozen, terrific moment in time. I thought that marriage was going to be this great big adventure, like death.
It's hard for me to sympathize, Billy.
Of course it is. It's hard for everyone to sympathize with me. Their troubles are always worse.
Well, you've always had it good as far as I could see.
And terrible.
You've always had money.
Yes, I have.
And some guy that adored you.
Almost always.
And you're good looking and you have nice clothes and you've always lived in a really great place.
But it's always just been like a photograph. And I want to be in a movie. An action movie where I get half my clothes ripped off by a gorilla. And then I marry the chief. But then I get thrown into a volcano. But I survive. And I become this famous Hollywood starlet. But I give it up to become a nun in an insane asylum in France, where I learned to become silent and unknown. And then I invent something good and useful and wonderful. But the government and the corporations, they try to steal it and twist it into evil.
Billy.
What?
What are you talking about?
I just wish that my life was a little more picaresque.
And for this, you want my sympathy.
No, Rhonda Louise, not for that. I want your sympathy for an ache inside of me that knows no name.
All right. You got my sympathy. Ready for dessert?